Hi, this is Derek Tsai from LearnByBlogging.com. Today I want to have a review of this book. It's called 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. Notes on Startups and How to Build the Future. That's the book with Blake Masters. And this book is simply phenomenal as far as I'm concerned. If you want to have start your own company or looking for investment in the small startup company, this is the right book for you. I would highly recommend it. And let me do a quick review on this book. And as you can see on the video, I decided to put the note directly on the screen so you can follow along. Makes it a little bit easier. And so 0 to 1 is a great book for people who are interested in starting their own company, or investors who want to invest on startup companies. The author Peter Thiel is one of the co-founders from PayPal. Really know his stuff and the stuff that really make a successful startup companies. The key takeaways for me are number one, your startup needs to have at least 10 times the benefits of the company and industry you are trying to compete with. Number two, don't disrupt. Find a niche, then grow from it, like Amazon starting with the book and then the bookstore and then expand to all the others. It's counterintuitive, but I think it makes a lot of sense. Number three, challenge yourself with this question. What important truth do every few people agree with you on? Or disagree with you on. So what important truth do very few people agree with you on? That is the question. And if you can answer that question, you have a very out-of-box thinking. And number four, a startup CEO should really set an example of having a very low salary. So if you want to make rich right out the back, that would not be something that's for you. Number five, finding the secret is like asking what valuable company that nobody is building. So if you can find that secret, that will be the company you want to build. Number six, best place to look for secrets is where no one is looking. Once you found the secret, don't tell, found a company. A great company is a conspiracy to change the world. Very interesting truth. Number seven, foundations of startup companies. Thiel's law, startup mess up, its foundation cannot be fixed. And from the founding team, you want to ask the question, how well do they know each other and work together? Sharing a prehistory really matters a lot in the startup team. Number eight, having founder around is very important to keep the company going. And that is something that he exhorted. So a short history, let me tell you a little bit summary. The challenge, chapter 1 is about the challenge of the future. So dissolution of the vertical, the discussion of vertical, doing new things or technology versus the horizontal scale, basically copying things that work, and really sets the tone for the book. The question you must ask and answer to succeed in the business of doing new things. So ask yourself, are you doing technology advancement or are you doing just copying the things that work? And it makes a huge difference. Chapter 2 is called The Party Like It's 1999. It's a brief history of the dot-com boom and the bust and the dogmas of making incremental improvement versus risk boldness. And there's a talk about stay lean and flexible, means there's no plan, versus a bad plan. Improve on the competition versus no competition. Focus on the products, not sales, versus sales matters as much as product. So these are a lot of the diametrically opposite argument that he went through. Number three, chapter 3 is about, he said, all happy companies are different. Ask the question, what valuable companies that nobody is building? Creating value is not enough. You also need to capture some of the value that you create. For example, airline versus Google, right? Airline is it has create a lot of value, but nobody's capturing it. Oh, not lately, but in the past they have been losing a lot of money. Versus Google, it has a very small industry, but they are capturing majority of the value. So monopolies lies and the competition lies. Monopoly is there, or they are not monopoly, and that what Google would say. And and the competition would lie and say, oh, we are competing with other, when they're not really competing. Both are lying for different reasons. And but all the all happy companies are different. Each one earns a monopoly by solving unique problem, and all failed companies are the same. They fail to escape competition. Interesting. Number 4, chapter 4, the ideology of competition. Marx versus Shakespearean view of competition. The Marx think that all competition is the same. Very great, a lot of competition. Eventually, you're going to drop down to zero profit, and the economy is going to go down the toilet. And Shakespeareans is that they feel like there's very little difference among the competitors, and competition is a destructive force. Don't be obsessed with competition. Focus on building a creative monopoly. A creative monopoly. That is a company that you want to work on. Chapter 5, last mover advantage. Company's value is based on discounted value of the future cash flows. And if you go to the finance class, this is the first thing they taught you about investment. And a startup value is really based on the long-term future cash flows. So while all economy business is based on the present, more on the present and the near-term cash flow, because there's not much future there. And but the characteristic of monopolies are the proprietary technology. There's a network effect, and there's economy of scales and branding. So these are the characteristics of a good monopolies. And the steps to building the monopoly is to start small and monopolize, and scale up, don't disrupt. So that's the steps. Start with the small monopolies and then scale up, and do not disrupt. So disrupted company often get picked fight that they cannot win, and it's much better to be the last mover and study the end game before everybody else. Okay. Number 6, you are not a lottery tickets. In the book, you go into the 4 quadrant, and this title is actually about argument against Malcolm Gladwell's book about the outlier. That's the super rich just happen to win the lotteries, like Warren Buffett or Bill Gates. But that's not true. It's 4 quadrants. There's definite versus indefinite, optimistic versus pessimistic. So if you have a 4 quadrant, you have a definite, indefinite, and you have optimist versus pessimist. And China is the one definite pessimistic quadrant. The USA today is in definite optimistic quadrant, just the opposite. And against Europe's indefinite pessimistic quadrant. So this goes a lot of. It's more theoretical, but it's not much you can derive from that. But leave nothing to chances if there's anything that you want to learn from that. Number 7, follow the money. Startup companies their return distribution follows a power law, and huge returns on a handful of companies. Only a handful of companies make a huge return. The most important things are singular. One market will probably be better than all the others. So there's one dominant player versus all the others, and this goes into similar patterns in startup companies, in a lot of venture capital funds as well. So chapter 8, secrets. Most people act as if there's no more secrets to be found, like what Unabomber would determine, or his manifest. They are easy, hard, and impossible goals or secrets. And all the hard goals have been achieved and secrets have been found. And this is his belief about finding the truth. And there are about 2 secret types that you can think about. One is of nature, the other one is of people. So we're thinking about what kind of company to build for is to ask the question, what secrets is the nature not telling you? And what secrets people are not telling you? So a great company is a conspiracy to change the world. And that is something you can think about. And number 9, chapter 9 is foundations. Choosing the co-founder is like getting married, and how well they know each other, work together matters. And there are 3 concepts: the ownerships, the possession, and control. The conflicts often arise between ownerships and control, the board. Ownership has to do with the founders, conflict between the founders, and conflict between the founders and the board. The small board of 3 is ideal. Everybody involved in the company should be full-time, on the bus or off the bus. And low CEO pay sets the standard for the company. And distribute the ownership very fairly. If you get the founding moment right, you might be able to extend the founding indefinitely. So acting like a startup company indefinitely. Chapter 8, the mechanics of mafia. As he's talking about the PayPal mafia that he started out when he was at PayPal. Offer the opportunity to do irreplaceable work on a unique problem alongside some great people. So from the outside, startups should have their own early staff, similar as possible. So every new hire must be equally obsessed with the mission. And then from the inside, every individual must be sharply distinguished by his or her work. And so each person cannot be a duplicate. They don't have enough resource. And make each person responsible for one thing. And having the cult-like culture is better than a consulting culture, the opposite extreme. Okay, chapter 11. If you build it, will they come? So the author exalts the importance of sales and distribution of products and services. COV is a customer lifetime value, must be greater than the CAC, which is customer acquisition cost. It's a basic math. The cost of acquiring company should be less than the customer's lifetime value. Otherwise, you'll be spending too much time. So the higher the price of your product, the more you have to spend to make a sale, and the more it makes sense to spend it. So there's a dead zone between the personal sales and the traditional sales, traditional advertisement distribution. And the bottleneck is that there's small to medium business since nobody is serving. And great products without distribution model will cause the business to fail. And everybody sells. Look around. If you don't see any salesperson, then you are the salesperson. And it goes well with the startup company. Chapter 12, Man and Machine. The computers are complements for human and not substitutes. I think in this chapter, he argued about the importance of human involvement. The most valuable business of coming decade will be built by entrepreneur who seek to empower people rather than try to make them obsolete. And give an example of the fault detection in PayPal, and they have to use the machine to complement the people who actually make decisions about about fraud. And chapter 13, Seeing Green, the 7 questions that the clean tech fails to answer. This one, it goes very deeply into a chapter about clean tech, why they fail. And number 1 is engineering question. Do you create throughput of breakthrough technology versus incremental improvement? Is it 10 times better? And number 2, the timing. Is now the good time to start your particular business? Are you entering a slow-moving business? And number 3 question is monopoly. Are you starting with a big share of the small market? Are you just going to a very monopolized, just no different? Otherwise, you are no different than just a restaurant in Palo Alto and University Avenue, just competing among all the restaurants. Number 4, people. Do you have the right team? Started by a non-technical person, right? Do you have the right people in the team? And number 5, distribution. Do you have a way to not just create but deliver the product? Distribution. Durability. Will your market position be defensible? right? This is defensible, be defensible 10 and 20 years into the future. Nobody could have predicted the Chinese business actually entering the market with the government subsidy for the green tech, and they should have predicted that. Number 7, secret. Have you identified unique opportunity that nobody, no other have not seen? So these are 7 questions you need to ask yourself. And then the chapter 14 is the founder's paradox. It's more powerful at the same time, more dangerous for a company to be led by a distinctive individual instead of a interchangeable manager. And the author argued that most founders lie in the 2 opposite ends of normal distribution. There are people who are all the way extreme on the left, and there's people on the right. Like Hughes, this is a Hughes aircraft, I don't know, Hughes, and Lady Gaga, and Bill Gates, and Steve Jobs, etc. So great founders bring out the best work from everybody at his team, at his company. And that's what the value of the founder is. And chapter 15 is conclusion. So Peter Thiel did not see the rival singularity, which singularity means that the machine's intelligence is going to exceed the human intelligence, or going to just make as smart as a human is. He does not believe the rival singularity will doom the mankind as long as we find the singular ways to create new things that will make the future not just different but better. So go from 0 to 1. The essential first step to think for yourself and see the world anew and strange as our ancestors did. So that is the conclusion, and he's very optimistic, very hopeful. And this is the book, 0 to 1. It's a great read. I highly recommend it. And hope that helped. And I'll see you next time. Bye now.